Lahore, the heart of the Mughal Empire. Once called the Paris of the East, this city witnessed the rise of one of
Under Emperor Akbar, Lahore became a center of arts and culture. The tradition
Originally, Heera Mandi was exactly what its name suggested, a market of diamonds and jewels, serving the royal court and noble families of Lahore.
Under Jahangir, accomplished Tawaifs received official recognition and even land grants. They were respected artists. Waves of Persian and Central Asian culture enriched Heera Mandi. The quarter became a melting pot of artistic traditions. As Mughal power waned and Sikh rule began under Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Heera Mandi faced its first major transformation. Surprisingly, the Sikh rulers continued the tradition of patronizing the arts. Heera Mandi adapted and survived. The architecture of Heera Mandi reflected its prosperity. Elaborate wooden balconies, intricate carvings, and the arrival of the British would forever change Heera Mandi. Victorian morality would clash with centuries-old traditions. 1849, the British annexed Punjab. For Heera Mandi, this marked the beginning of a decline from respected cultural quarter to something darker. The British publicly condemned Heera Mandi while privately patronizing it. This hypocrisy would transform the quarter's character.
With the British military presence, Heera Mandi began its transformation from cultural center to entertainment district for soldiers.
After the 1857 rebellion, the British viewed any native cultural gathering with suspicion. Heera Mandi was no exception.
Victorian reformers tried to rescue the women of Heera Mandi, not understanding that many were there by choice, as artists and professionals.
traditional Tawaif families faced a dilemma: delay, preserve their artistic heritage, or
As the 20th century dawned, Heera Mandi stood at a crossroads between its glorious past and an uncertain future.
The arrival of cinema offered new opportunities. Many Tawaifs became pioneering actresses, though the social stigma followed them.
World War I brought more soldiers and commercialization. The artistic traditions struggled to survive amid growing commodification.
After Jallianwala Bagh, even Heera Mandi became politically conscious. Many Kothas secretly supported the independence movement.
The Roaring Twenties brought jazz and Western influences. Heera Mandi adapted, but each adaptation took it further from its roots.
Despite its decline, Heera Mandi remained a meeting place for intellectuals, writers, and secretly, independence activists. The Great Depression drove many desperate women to Heera Mandi. Poverty, not tradition, became the primary driver. Ironically, some crucial pre-partition political meetings happened in Heera Mandi's kothas, away from British surveillance.
World War II accelerated Heera Mandi's transformation. The last vestiges of its cultural heritage were drowning in commercialization.
As independence approached, Heera Mandi faced uncertainty. Would partition divide this community too?
Partition brought chaos to Heera Mandi. Hindu and Sikh Tawaifs fled to India. Muslims arrived from Delhi and Amritsar. Lives were shattered.
The partition violence didn't spare Heera Mandi. The quarter that had entertained rulers for centuries became a refuge for the desperate. After partition, Heera Mandi was transformed. Many kothas became refugee camps. The old world was gone forever.
In the new Islamic Republic, Heera Mandi became an embarrassment. Official policy and ground reality diverged sharply. The emerging Pakistani film industry offered hope. Some daughters of Heera Mandi became famous actresses, though they hid their origins.
Despite everything, fragments of artistic tradition survived. Musicians still taught, though their students were fewer.
Modernization brought demolition. The architectural heritage of Heera Mandi began disappearing, replaced by concrete structures.
Arts of Heera Mandi began transforming into food streets. Commerce of a different kind replaced the old establishments.
The 1971 war and economic crisis drove more desperate women to Heera Mandi.
General Zia's Islamization brought increased pressure. Heera Mandi existed in legal limbo, officially condemned but unofficially tolerated.
A hidden economy emerged. Police, officials, and criminals all took their cut. The women bore the cost of everyone's hypocrisy.
The AIDS crisis added new dangers to old problems.
Health workers began visiting, but stigma prevented many from seeking help.
Mothers in Heera Mandi dreamed of education for their daughters, but hiding their address became a daily struggle. Cable television brought Bollywood dreams to Heera Mandi. Young girls saw a world beyond their narrow streets.
NGOs began rehabilitation programs, but teaching sewing to women needing immediate income often proved inadequate.
Mobile phones changed everything. The traditional quota system declined as business moved to private arrangements.
Some escaped through education and NGO support. But for every success story, hundreds remained trapped by poverty.
Drug addiction became endemic. It offered escape from unbearable reality but created new chains of dependency.
Women from Heera Mandi found no justice. Police stations turned them away. The law offered no protection to those outside society.
Religious groups regularly demanded Heera Mandi's closure. But authorities knew closing it would only scatter the problem.
The economic disparity was stark. Wealthy clients in luxury cars visited women living in poverty. Exploitation wore many faces.
As the new millennium began, Heera Mandi's physical heritage crumbled. Each demolished haveli erased centuries of history.
Healthcare facilities finally arrived, but stigma kept many away. Progress was slow and difficult.
Children faced discrimination everywhere. Schools refused admission, perpetuating the cycle of marginalization.
Marriage offered no escape. Discovery of Heera Mandi origins meant immediate rejection. The stigma was inherited like a curse.
The internet brought both opportunity and danger. Global connection meant new possibilities but also new forms of exploitation.
Dark tourism emerged. Foreigners came seeking authentic experiences, turning human misery into entertainment.
Despite everything, hope persisted. Small organizations, individual victories, tiny steps toward dignity and change.
After 9/11, international scrutiny increased. Heera Mandi became symbol of Pakistan's contradictions. Hidden yet known, illegal yet thriving.
During the 2005 earthquake, women from Heera Mandi joined relief efforts. Crisis temporarily erased social boundaries.
Social media transformed everything. Digital pimping replaced traditional systems. The exploitation modernized but didn't decrease. During the lawyers' movement, even marginalized women joined protests. Democracy meant hope for justice and recognition.
The transgender community faced double marginalization. In Heera Mandi, they found both refuge and further exploitation.
Property developers saw opportunity in Heera Mandi's location. Gentrification threatened to displace without rehabilitation.
During festivals like Basant, Heera Mandi briefly felt normal. Children flew kites, forgetting the stigma of their address.
Leaving wasn't simple. Some faced honor-killing threats from families who profited from their work. Escape could mean death.
Artists began documenting Heera Mandi's stories. Through art, they sought to restore humanity to dehumanized lives. Regional tensions affected Heera Mandi. Increased security meant more police presence and harassment. And the 2008 financial crisis drove more women to Heera Mandi. Economic desperation overcame social stigma.
Pakistan's youth bulge created new pressures. Unemployed young men, sexual frustration, and conservative society created dangerous dynamics. Banning Indian channels cut cultural connections. For many girls, Bollywood dreams had offered psychological escape.
Microfinance offered hope but faced reality. Small loans couldn't overcome systemic discrimination and immediate survival needs.
Disease outbreaks hit Heera Mandi hard. Overcrowding, poor sanitation, and limited healthcare access created perfect conditions for epidemics.
Politicians sought votes from Heera Mandi but offered nothing in return. Democracy meant little to those outside society.
Child protection services were overwhelmed and under-resourced. Many children remained trapped despite legal protections.
The nearby Sufi shrine offered spiritual solace. Faith provided comfort where society offered none.
The 2010 floods devastated Heera Mandi. Climate change added another layer to existing vulnerabilities.
The decade ended with mixed results. Some escaped, many remained trapped, and the struggle continued without resolution.
Smartphones revolutionized Heera Mandi. WhatsApp replaced pimps. Instagram created new pressures. Technology disrupted traditional exploitation.
The Orange Line Metro brought development close. Property prices rose. Displacement loomed. The poor faced eviction.
The global #MeToo movement highlighted an irony. The most exploited women remained voiceless in conversations about exploitation.
Legal recognition for transgender persons brought hope, but law and social reality remained worlds apart.
COVID-19 lockdowns were catastrophic. With no savings or support, starvation threatened before disease did.
Heera Mandi's food street became tourist attraction while hidden suffering continued meters away. Two realities coexisted uncomfortably.
Social media brought activists seeking content. Their cameras captured misery for likes while changing nothing.
Skill centers offered alternatives. Progress was slow, setbacks common, but each woman helped meant victory.
International attention brought opportunity and exploitation. Controlling narrative became crucial for dignity.
Conservation efforts began recognizing Heera Mandi's architectural heritage. History was being preserved even as present remained problematic. The TikTok generation had different dreams. Social media offered escape routes previous generations couldn't imagine.
Religious festivals brought rare unity. In shared marginalization, religious differences mattered less than human solidarity.
As 2020 ended, Heera Mandi faced unprecedented challenges. The pandemic had exposed every vulnerability, challenged every assumption. The post-pandemic world brought new challenges and old problems. Heera Mandi adapted as it always had, through resilience born of necessity.
Economic crisis drove more women to desperate choices. When choosing between hunger and dignity, survival wins.
Climate change hit the vulnerable hardest. Heera Mandi faced floods, heat waves, and disease with minimal resources.
A new generation of activists emerged from within. They understood the problems because they lived them.
Legal reforms were discussed. For the first time, those affected were consulted. Small step, but significant.
Individual successes proved change possible. Each woman who escaped blazed trail for others. The conversation finally included demand. Why did married men visit Heera Mandi? Society's hypocrisy was exposed.
Mental health support finally arrived. Generations of trauma began being addressed. Healing would take generations more.
International human rights organizations documented conditions. Global pressure mounted for meaningful change.
Heera Mandi stands at another crossroads. Will it become gentrified memory, or can its people shape their own future?
Stories are being preserved, not the sensationalized versions, but truth as lived by those who survived.
The sun sets on another day in Heera Mandi. Tomorrow will bring same struggles, same hopes, same humanity seeking dignity.
In a small room, a girl studies. Her address is Heera Mandi, but her dreams reach beyond these narrow streets.
Change comes slowly from within. Women who once competed for survival now organize for collective dignity.
As Lahore modernizes and Heera Mandi faces an uncertain future, we must remember, these streets hold